Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. You've got Mr. Ann here again. Stasera we are going to make some Italian food. When I lived in Italy, I lived in an area called Bari or Puglia, which is the heel of Italy, and they have a specialty down there called Panzerotto, or Panzerotti is plural. And the difference between Panzerotto or Panzerotti and calzoni is baked. Panzerotti are deep fat fried. So it melts it a lot better, and there are different ingredients too. So we're going to put in what is typically used in a Panzerotto. And down in Puglia, instead of a hamburger, you'd go out and get a Panzerotto. So let me tell you first what we've got in here. And the reason I'm wearing a red shirt is I'm growing a beard for Santa. It's Christmas time. And if you wear a white shirt, you're going to end up with a red polka dot shirt when you make your marinara sauce. So I'm wearing red so that it won't show. Okay, our ingredients are, you got some mozzarella cheese, and get the stuff that's usually in, they call it in latte, or you don't get that hard stuff that you grate. This is it, and it's all chopped up. We also add Fontina cheese, and what we do is we roll out the dough, and then we spread the marinara sauce, and we'll show you this later, but what we're going to show you is right now the ingredients. We've minced up some garlic. We've cut up some prosciutto di Parma. It's prosciutto, and di Parma is the best. Parma is where you get the name Parmesan or Parmigiano. And we've got some salt. We've got some pepper, we've got some fresh basil, we've got some Italian seasoning, which includes basil, oregano. Basil is the main ingredient, oregano is the next main ingredient. You've got some thyme, some sage, some marjoram in the Italian seasoning. We've got a cut up onion, we've got some salt, and we've got, for the marinara sauce, we've got some crushed tomatoes, and we're going to add it all in, and we're going to simmer it so that it gets all included and all the flavors come through. We're in our crushed tomatoes in the pan that we're going to use to make the marinara sauce. And then we're going to put in quite a bit of salt. We're going to throw in about a half of an onion, which is fairly spicy. We're going to throw in some hand-crushed pepper. We're going to throw in some diced fresh basil. We're going to throw in some organic oregano. And we're going to throw in some Italian seasoning. As you can see, there are no exact measurements here. You just do it to taste. And we're going to throw in the garlic. Now we're going to simmer it, and we're going to simmer it, and we'll come back when we show you how to make the Panzerotti. You should simmer it for at least an hour. You can simmer it all day if you want. What I didn't show you was I put in some olive oil, and I put in about a teaspoon of sugar so that it cuts some of the acid in the taste. This is simmering, and you can see you put it over low heat, and when you see the little bubbles coming up, that means it's all of the ingredients are adding to the savor, and they're getting cooked in. And just make sure you stir it every once in a while so the bottom doesn't burn.
This is our next step to making Panzerotti for our Christmas dinner that everybody requested. We probably only make this once a year, and this is the day they chose to make it. So that's how special we believe it is. Okay, we have been raising our pizza dough. You can find this recipe on my channel as well, how to make our pizza dough, and I'm ready to punch it down right now. And so we basically just make that pizza dough recipe, the same one that's on my channel, and this makes quite a bit of dough. I'm going to be cutting this in half, approximately. And then I'm going to be cutting it in half again. So I'm going to quarter size it. And I'm going to be cutting it in half again. And in half again. So these are about the size that you want to make for each one. It might be a little smaller depending on what you want to do. This is what I use to roll out. If you have another baking mat or something, but I love my pastry cloth and my French rolling pin. And I put a little bit of flour on here to keep it from sticking. And you're going to roll this out. Now I'm going to try to roll this out as thin as possible, so I can fit as much of the ingredients inside as possible. And to make as many as possible, because everybody wants at least 2 of these. I hope we have enough. So I'm going to roll this out quite thin. And it can be any shape you want. I'm just trying to make it so it will roll out as thin as possible. There we go. I'm going to move this to here so I don't get any sauce on it. Now, our sauce that Mr. Ann was making is already, it's been simmering for about 35-40 minutes. All of the ingredients and spices and onion in it have been nicely melded together. And I'm going to put a little bit of this right in the center. Not too much. And I'm going to add a little bit of the prosciutto. And then this is our fresh mozzarella cheese. This melts so nicely on here. I'm going to add this. And this is our Fontina. We're going to put on top of that. And now we're going to press this over, kind of spread this out a little bit. But you're going to want to make it kind of like a calzone. But we're going to pinch these edges together like this. Now our deep fat fryer has been heating up nicely. I didn't put it on high because I don't want it to cook too fast. So I put it on about 350. And I'm going to get started. So it's nicely got all the cheeses, the sauce, everything ready to go. You got to be really careful with a deep fat fryer how you layer it in. So we're going to put it right in here. It should float to the top, and you want to wait until it's nicely brown. So we're going to watch it for a minute and see. And we're going to probably turn it at one time. I could use my knife to do that. There you go. Looks like we can only fit one in at a time. So while that's frying, I'm going to go ahead and take my next piece and roll it out. So it looks like this might make up to 16 pieces. So you're going to need a lot of cheese and this is obvious. This is also really great. Even as leftovers the next day, you can reheat it. So this is a special dish from what part of Italy, Wayne?
Puglia.
Which is southern or northern Italy? On the heel of Italy. So you might, if you go to Italy and you don't go to the heel, you might never hear of this dish. But we've been sharing this with friends and family for many years, and they always come back and say, please make us Panzerotti. So that's why we're having it for Christmas dinner. Okay, we're checking. I'm going to turn over our, oh, it's browning just perfect, so it's not too dark. So we're going to let this brown a little bit more here. You want to make sure, of course, that it's not cooking too fast because you want to melt all the cheese. And of course, it being a fried food, it's not a food that you're going to eat very often. It's a specialty thing. Okay, so let's take this over here. And we're going to do one more. Put the sauce in. I put a little bit more that time. A little bit more of the mozzarella. And the prosciutto. Prosciutto is an Italian ham. And it's chopped just perfectly nice, so it'll be easy to eat when you take it out. And then the Fontina is an Italian cheese also. So delicious. Okay, I'm going to try to spread this out a little bit so that it will close nicely. It's going to be a nice big piece. Okay, you're going to pinch this together so that the sauce doesn't come out and the cheeses don't melt through the oil. And we use just a regular vegetable oil here. Okay, it looks like it's about ready. This looks like it's about ready. In fact, it's perfect right now, so I'm going to take this out. You might want to put that paper towel under there. Cut our first one in half, and you can see it's got the cheese, the prosciutto, all the lovely things in there, and the marinara sauce that was homemade. To serve this, what you do is just put a little bit of olive oil On top, sprinkle it with a little bit of kosher salt and fresh ground pepper. And it's ready to serve. We're making this with Caesar salad. It'll be perfect for our meal tonight.